Welcome back to a new episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. Last week, we started a series where we started to talk about how to have a strong start of 2025. And we were diving into my top 10 tips for a strong start of the year. The beginning of a new year always feels like a blank canvas, a chance to reflect, to reset, and intentionally design the next chapter of our lives. We got as far as the first 3 tips or the first 3 strategies. We talked about getting clear on your vision. We also talked about focusing on the power of one. And we ended with establishing daily routines. And I told you that today we're going to go deeper into one of those daily routines, one of my favorite, which is my morning routine. So we're going to start there and let's see how far we get with the tips for this strong start of the year. Let's get started. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. My intuition was telling me that one episode was not going to be enough to cover all 10 tips for a strong start of the year. And I think I was right. But hey, I think it's worth going deep into each of these different tips so you feel empowered and you have the tools that you need to actually have a strong start of your year. Today, we're kicking things off with a very powerful tip, something that is very close to my heart. And tip number 4 is win your morning. The way you start your morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. Think of your morning as the foundation of a house. If it's strong and intentional, everything that you build on top of it will be more stable. Winning your morning is not about perfection or packing your routine with endless tasks. It's about starting your day with purpose, with energy, and with clarity. Mornings really offer a unique opportunity to prioritize yourself before the demands of work, family, and when life really takes over. Even just a few intentional actions can make a massive difference in your mood, in your productivity, and your overall sense of well-being throughout the day. I always say that when I'm consistent with my morning routine, I show up as a better version of myself. And the people closest to me can tell when, for whatever reason, I skip my morning routine because they don't get the best of me. Let's leave it at that. So what I want to do is to share some tips about morning routines. And this is not my morning routine that I'm going to describe, but I do have podcast episodes that I've done before where I walk you through my own morning routine. But I think I just want to share with you, first of all, why morning routines are important, and then get into some tips that might help you craft your own morning routine that works for you. Because I think that is really the key. It needs to work for you. But let's start with why a morning routine. What are the benefits of having a morning routine? I think, first of all, it sets a positive tone. Starting your day with calm, focused activities helps you feel in control and grounded instead of rushing through the chaos of life and your day. The second reason, it can help boost your productivity. When you take time to plan and center yourself, you're most likely to tackle your day with focus and determination. It can also help improve your mental health. Morning routines that include mindfulness and movement or gratitude can really help to reduce stress and anxiety. And one of my favorite reasons, it helps create momentum. Small wins in the morning, like making your bed, as simple as that, or drinking a glass of water, they start to build momentum, motivating you to continue to make positive choices throughout the day. A morning routine doesn't have to be long or complicated, but the key is to choose activities that energize your body, that sharpen your mind, and that center you and ground you. And here's how you can structure an ideal morning routine. Some of these things I do myself. Yes, my morning routine is longer than most people. I always wake up at least 2 hours before my kids wake up, and I have my morning routine. My morning routine is about an hour and a half, but it didn't start like that. My morning routine started with 15 minutes. And over the years, and I've been doing my morning routine for, I don't know, maybe 10 years now, I continue to build things into my morning routine because you probably have heard about habit stacking. And it's been easy or easier for me to stack habits around my morning routine. But also because things that I started doing for 5 minutes, now I do for 30 minutes. So it's something that evolves over time and evolves with you. But I want to start by reinforcing that the most important thing about your morning routine is not how long you invest in your morning routine, is that it's working for you, that you choose the things that, again, energize your body, sharpen your mind, and help you stay centered and grounded. And what helps you achieve that might be different than what helps me. I'm going to share some common things according to science and different studies that have proven to help us human beings achieve those things. And now for how long you do those things, it really is up to you. And if you're going to say, I don't have time in the morning, here is what worked for me. And I think this was the most valuable tip that helped me got into action and unstuck from just thinking about starting a morning routine. And that is set your alarm 15 minutes earlier. 15 minutes earlier. I think we all can wake up 15 minutes earlier, whenever that works for you, and dedicate those 15 minutes to your morning routine. And after a period of time, once you build consistency, you can choose to wake up another 10 minutes earlier, or 5 minutes earlier, or another 15 minutes earlier. You will gauge as you go and adjust as you need. And staying flexible as you form this and build your own morning routine is important. So let me talk about a few components that I would highly suggest you consider in your morning routine. The first one is movement. Moving your body first thing in the morning gets the blood flowing, wakes you up, releases endorphins, and it doesn't have to be complicated, right? It can be just a 10-minute walk around the block. It can be a quick yoga stretching. It can be trying out a workout, something as simple as jumping jacks or a few push-ups that can energize you. I personally have a Netflix of workouts that I'm subscribed to. And I will put, by the way, I'm going to put a link on the show notes of today's podcast episode with all the things that I'm going to be referencing, because typically when I share things that I use, you always message me and ask me, what was that and where can I find it? Well, I'm going to put a link. And when you click on that link on the show notes, you're going to see all the things that I'm going to be talking about on this podcast episode. If you're curious, if you want to take a look, including this Netflix of workouts. So it has hundreds of different programs, and I never get bored because every day I'm doing something slightly different. I like to do muscle building, like weightlifting, and incorporate some cardio as well during the week. But how you move your body is up to you. I would say pick something that you like and something that makes you feel good. I would say any kind of movement is going to make you feel good, especially in the morning. Another thing to consider in your morning routine is something that centers your mind. Taking a moment to quiet your thoughts and set intentions for the day. Like meditating for 5 to 10 minutes can create a sense of calm and clarity. Or if you don't like meditating, maybe journaling is your thing. Journaling about your goals, or journaling about gratitude, or how you want to show up during the day. Another thing you can try to center your mind is some breathing exercises. Those can really help you to focus and ground yourself. So those are some ideas, but what can you do that helps center your mind? And maybe at the beginning is just as your coffee is brewing, you're thinking about things that you're grateful. Or while you're enjoying your coffee, maybe your morning routine is just you're going to wake up earlier so you can actually enjoy that morning coffee. I remember when I started my morning routine, my son was a toddler, and I didn't knew anymore what it was to sit down by myself in the quiet and peace and enjoy my morning coffee. And that's how my morning routine started. And you cannot believe how just having 15 minutes for myself to enjoy a cup of coffee, I love coffee by the way, just helped me ground myself, feel more centered, and show up better, more calm and centered throughout the day. So maybe that's the point, the place where you start your morning routine. Okay, another thing I think it's important in your morning routine is to fuel your body. What you put into your body in the morning has a significant impact on your energy levels and your ability to focus. So something that is very important is to start your day hydrated. I always start my day by drinking water. Before I do my workout, I drink a glass of water. By the time I'm done with my workout, I already have 30 ounces of water down for the day. My first 30 ounces of water I consume during my morning routine. Also, enjoying a balanced breakfast where you have protein and healthy fats and fiber. That can significantly impact your levels of energy throughout the day and help stabilize your blood sugar levels throughout the day as well, which impacts your energy throughout the day. So for me, I a lot of times have a protein shake. Sometimes I take more time to do something a little bit more sophisticated, but I always make sure that I have protein, healthy fats, and fiber on my breakfast. If you are not a breakfast person, maybe you're into intermittent fasting or whatever that case is, maybe it's just savoring coffee or tea mindfully. Just how I started my morning routine, how I just shared with you. Another thing that I would encourage you to build into your morning routine is to set your priorities. Spending a few minutes mapping out your day so you know what to focus on. Something I've been doing for many years now is so I wake up, I do my workout, then I hop on my treadmill and I do a cool down walk while I'm using red light therapy. That's something that I added over a year ago into my morning routine. Sometimes I do some breathing exercise or a very short meditation. And while I'm walking, I'm always listening to the Daily Fire on Growth Day, which I absolutely love. And again, this will be a link that will be on show notes of this podcast episode. So I do something that inspires me, right? Listening to a podcast, reading a quote and reflecting on a quote, just like I do on the 6 a.m. club on Saturdays with you. And once I'm done with all of that, I look at my calendar. I look at what is happening on my day, and I ask myself a few questions. One, I write down my top 3 priorities for the day. What are my 3 non-negotiables for the day? I also review my schedule and make sure that I'm prepared for everything that I have that day. And if not, I write down on my planner what is that I need to do to get prepared. And I always have the first hour in the morning on my working time blocked. I call it big rocks. And typically I use that for one of two things. One, either to prepare for the rest of the day. Let's say I have a meeting and I need to work on a presentation, things of that sort, or to make progress on an important project. Because I think when you start your day feeling that you're making progress on something important or something that is setting you up for success, that builds a lot of momentum. And another thing you can do to set your priorities is just to visualize what success would look like by the end of the day. Sometimes I ask myself, how would I know that today was a good day? And I reflect on that for a few seconds. As I said, the most important thing is that you make your morning routine your own. Your morning routine should reflect your goals, your values, and your lifestyle. If you're short on time, focus on just one or two key actions that you know or your intuition tells you that will make the biggest impact for you. You can do a 5-minute morning routine where you maybe just hydrate, drinking a glass of water, take a deep breath, and set your intentions for the day. You can do that in 5 minutes. In fact, you can do that without leaving your bed in the morning. You can start a 30-minute morning routine. Maybe that looks like incorporating some movement and some journaling and having a nurturing breakfast. Or you can have a full-blown morning routine like me, and you add things like gratitude and meditation and planning for your day and setting intentions for the day and doing red light therapy. And you can add anything that you want to your morning routine. Now, the key is consistency. If you're going to have a morning routine, you need to commit to be consistent with it in order to harvest the benefits that a morning routine can bring you. So I have 4 tips for you for consistency. The first one is prepare the night before. One thing I like to do is I lay out my workout clothes at night. I leave my journal in the place where I'm going to be using. You can do some meal prepping for breakfast if that helps you. But what can you do the night before that would set you up for success, that will reduce friction and make it easier for you to follow up? I leave my workout clothes in the bathroom. So when I wake up, the first thing that I do is go into the bathroom, and there are my working clothes in front of me. That was so helpful when I was starting, and I didn't have that consistency, and it was hard, but it was there reminding me and reducing the friction, so it was easier for me to commit. The second thing is start small. If your mornings feel overwhelming, begin with just one habit and then build from there. Even those 5 minutes that you can invest in your morning routine can make a difference. Also, the third thing I would say, make it enjoyable. Choose things that you look forward to, whether it is a warm cup of coffee or listening to your favorite playlist or podcast or watching the sunrise, whatever that is. But look for things that you can actually look forward to instead of things that you're dreading to do. And the last thing is be flexible. Life happens, and some mornings are not going to go as planned. And instead of just throwing the towel and abandoning your routine altogether, adapt and focus on what you can do. This happens to me when I'm traveling, or for whatever reason I have an earlier than usual meeting. I have to shuffle things and compromise, but I always do something that helps me start my day with intention. So here is my call to action for you today. Remember, we have one of those after each of the tips that I'm sharing with you. And for this one is going to be to take 10 minutes today to design your ideal morning routine. Choose 2 to 3 small actions that energize, centered you and help you focus, and then commit to trying out a routine next week. Reflect on how it impacts your day and then adjust as you need. Winning your morning doesn't mean creating a rigid schedule. It's about setting yourself up for success in a way that feels natural and sustainable. And when you start your day with intention, you'll find that the rest of the day becomes more manageable, more productive, and more fulfilling. Okay, that was tip number 4, win your morning. Let's move on to tip number 5, which is prioritize your health. And let me start by saying your health is your most important asset. It's the most important asset that you have. It's the foundation that supports every other aspect of your life. When you're physically healthy, mentally clear, and emotionally balanced, you have the energy, the focus, the resilience to tackle your goals, to nurture your relationships, to enjoy the moments that matter most. Yet, even though I think in theory we all know that, many of us tend to prioritize everything else over our health. We push ourselves to the limit in work, in relationships, or other obligations, and often end up neglecting one thing that fuels our success, which is our own well-being. So I think 2025 is the year to shift that mindset. You know, prioritizing your health isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Last year, my power word was vibrant, and that led me to really double down on my health and my wellness, and I learned so much. And I realized just what I said, that prioritizing your health is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Now, why health comes first? Why is it a priority? Well, first of all, energy and vitality, right? When you prioritize your health, you increase your energy levels. That allows you to show up fully in every area of your life instead of feeling sluggish and drained. You'll feel vibrant and ready to take the world. It also helps with mental clarity. Physical health is closely tied to mental health. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, quality rest, they all help sharpen your focus, improve your cognitive function, and boost your mood. It also gives us long-term sustainability. You know, achieving your goals is important, but maintaining the ability to pursue them over the long term is even more important. So prioritizing your health ensures that you can keep striving towards success without burning out or facing maybe preventable health issue. When you focus on your health and you prioritize your health, it also helps build confidence and resilience. When you feel good about your health, you feel more confident and more capable, period. You're more resilient when facing challenges because you have the physical and the mental stamina to overcome any challenge that comes your way. So, I want to talk about a few components of health, and I want to share with you my journey last year because I've been focused on my health for years. My health has been one of my top priorities, if not my top priority for many years, right? I'm always looking to live a healthy lifestyle, and I'm always open to experiment. Now they call that biohacking. That's something I enjoy and it's fun for me, but always thinking on how can I feel at my best? How can I prevent any health issues in the long term? And in 2024, as I said, I doubled down on this because I picked the word vibrant. I wanted to feel vibrant last year, and I did. And let me tell you some of the things that I did to feel that way. One thing is, I think you need to know where you are today. And I don't know if you regularly do an annual physical with your doctor. I always do, but I always felt that they were very superficial, and I was always curious, as a very curious person, of other things going on my body. So I decided to do a functional medicine work. It was above 100 markers in this lab test, and I will put the link of this test on the show notes as well. It was very inexpensive, very thorough, and it really helped me identify what were areas that I needed to focus. So then I could be more intentional about my habits and the things that I was doing to make sure that I'm doing what works for me. Because what I find is this wellness industry is huge. I don't know the numbers, but it's on the trillions of dollars in the United States. And it's confusing. I don't know if you feel that way, but I follow different people in social media, read from different gurus in the industry, and it can be confusing. Some people tell you, oh, you should do this diet, and other people tell you, oh, you should do that biohacking or that other diet or this exercise or that equipment. And it can be overwhelming and confusing. So what I think it's important, just like I mentioned with the morning routines, is that you know yourself and you do what works for you, not what works for someone else, right? Our human body is really complex. And if we don't understand what our body needs, we might, with the best of our intentions, be giving our body something that it doesn't need. So that's why I started with that lab test. And it was the most comprehensive lab test that I've done in my life. So if you live in the US and you're curious, I'm going to put the link on the show notes so you can take a look. If you're listening from outside the US, at least you can check it out. I don't know that it's available outside of the US, but it will give you an idea of what this is. And maybe in your country, there is something similar to that. Now, once I had that information, I knew, or I had an idea of what things I could do to best support myself. And I'm going to talk about 3 key pillars of health that it's important we all prioritize this year. The first one is fueling your body. You know, what you eat has a profound impact on how you feel. When you fuel your body with nutritious whole foods, you're providing it with the energy and the nutrients that it needs to perform at its best. So I did make some changes in my nutrition. And one of the things that is very important is to choose nutrient-dense foods, focusing on a balanced diet that is rich on vegetables and whole foods and lean proteins and whole grains and healthy fats. You know, the more colorful your plate, the better. That's something that I learned and I always keep in mind in every meal. Now, this year, I decided to continue exploring and I started using something called Zoe, which is available in the US and the UK, maybe other countries. I will also put the link on the show notes. I did some tests at home, some blood tests and some food tests, that this app now is going to tell me and recommend what foods my body needs. And I'm also, as part of that, using a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor. So I can tell how my body is reacting to the food that I'm eating. And that is helping me make better choices. And what I'm confirming is what everyone else was telling me. Choosing nutrient-dense whole foods, it's the way to go. It's what our bodies need. And you don't need a CGM to know that. But for me, it's been very eye-opening. Another thing that is very important is to stay hydrated. Drinking plenty of water throughout the day to support your metabolism, your digestion, your overall health. You know, proper hydration can improve your energy levels, your focus, even how your skin looks. And I've always drink a lot of water because it's a habit that I've been working on for years now. And this year, what I realized is that sometimes it's not about drinking the amount of water that you drink. Sometimes drinking too much water can also have negative impacts, right? Because it can drain your body from minerals that it needs. So I've been incorporating electrolytes once a day into my water. And then mindful eating, paying attention to how food makes you feel and nourishing your body mindfully not only supports your physical health, but also nurtures your relationship with food. And this has been probably one of the most challenging aspects for me. But now that I get a good grasp of, based on what I eat, how I feel, I can tell the difference. And now I make more conscious choices, and my relationship with food has been day and night. Okay, so that's the first pillar. The second pillar is to move consistently. Movement is essential for our overall health. Our bodies are designed to move, whether it's walking, dancing, yoga, stretching, lifting weights. Finding a form of exercise that you enjoy will help you stay consistent and stay motivated. And exercise for enjoyment. Choose activities that make you feel good, not just those that burn the most calories, like I used to do years ago. I would do whatever will help me burn the most calories. But now I realize it should be something that makes me feel good, regardless of how many calories I'm burning. For you, that might be a fun dance class or a hike with a friend or a daily stretch routine. Movement should be something that you look forward to. It's important to incorporate movement daily, aiming for at least 30 minutes of moderate activity most days of the week. It's a good place to be. Every bit of movement really counts. Incorporating strength training, I've learned, is super important, especially as we age. Building muscle helps to increase your metabolism, to support your bone health. So personally, I aim for 3 times a week of weightlifting. But you can start with 1. But are you incorporating any weightlifting in your routine? And I think in general, besides the time that you're working out, like I work out in the morning, but if then I'm sitting down at my desk all day, I defeat the purpose. Like I'm doing something good for myself, and then I'm defeating the purpose by sitting down all day. So movement throughout the day is so critical. And the third pillar is rest and recovery. A lot of times it's easy to overlook the importance of rest, but it's just as essential as exercise and nutrition. Recovery allows your body to repair, to restore energy, to keep you functioning at your best. So a few things you can keep in mind when it comes to rest and recovery. Number 1 is prioritize your sleep. Aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night is optimal. Why? I mean, sleep supports your mood, your immune function, your energy. It's when your body repairs. We need to sleep. Also, it's important to incorporate rest days. Recovery is not only about sleep, it's also about giving your body time to heal. And rest days are essential to prevent overtraining, to reduce risk of injury. Your body just needs those rest days. I was the person who would work out 7 days a week. And last year, I decided that I was going to incorporate 1 rest day a week. And now I have 1 rest day, which is Sundays, and I have 1 active recovery day during the week. And that is, for me, right now, the perfect balance. Another tip here might be mindful relaxation. Incorporating moments of relaxation throughout the day, not only as you're winding down to go to bed, but throughout the day. Whether it's through breathing, through a simple walk in nature, through just stepping back from work and distracting yourself for a moment, getting some fresh air, drinking some water, but some mindful relaxation moments built throughout the day is so critical. Now, why is this so important? The benefits of prioritizing your health, it can really enhance your productivity when When you feel physically and mentally at your best, you're more productive. You're able to focus more, to make decisions faster, and execute more efficiently and effectively. It can help improve your mood and your emotional balance. Prioritizing health supports your mood, which improves your interactions that you have with others, the way you show up every day, and the outlook of life that you have. It can help build stronger immunity. When you take care of your health, it strengthens your immune system. It reduces the likelihood of you getting sick. And when you're not sick, that allows you to also stay consistent with your goals. It supports longevity by focusing on long-term health. Not only you ensure your quality of life today, but also you create a future where you can continue to pursue your passions for many more years to come. So, how to get started? I know I shared a lot of things, and maybe you're a little bit overwhelmed by this point, but I want to simplify it in three steps. Start with a specific health goal. Choose one area of your health that you want to focus on this month, whether it's improving your sleep, eating more veggies, walking 10,000 steps a day. I don't know what that is, but select something that will have a meaningful impact in your overall well-being. Then step 2, create some actionable steps. Break your goal into smaller steps, something that is manageable. For example, if you're focusing on sleep, start by maybe setting a consistent bedtime routine, eliminating screen time before bed, or creating a relaxing space before you go to bed. I don't know, but break it down in little things that you can do that don't feel overwhelming. And then track your progress. You can use a journal, you can use an app. There's so many apps out there that can help you track your habits. That is going to help you stay accountable and make it easier for you to improve over time. So, what are we going to do? What is your call to action? Again, choose your health focus. Decide one area that you're going to focus on this month. Set a specific measurable goals, whether it is, for example, eat 5 servings of veggies every day this week, or walk 10,000 steps per day. And then track your progress. Remember, your health is the cornerstone of everything that you want to accomplish. When you feel good physically and mentally, you show up better for yourself, for your goals, for your family, for the people that is important to you. So prioritize your health today, not just as a New Year resolution, but as an ongoing commitment to living your best life. Okay, that was tip number 5. We're going to do one more today. Tip number 6 is build a support system. No matter how determined or capable you are, success and personal growth are rarely achieved in isolation. The people you surround yourself can profoundly influence your mindset, your motivation, and the progress that you make. A strong support system acts like a safety net or a sounding board and a source of its inspiration when challenges come your way. So think of your support system as a garden. The more you cultivate meaningful relationships, the more they flourish, providing encouragement, wisdom, and opportunities to grow together. What is the power of community? Well, there's 4 things that come to my mind. 1 is accountability and motivation. Having people who cheer you on and hold you accountable can help you stay focused on your goals, especially on those moments where self-doubt and discouragement show up. The second is diverse perspectives. Different people bring different strengths, experiences, and points of view, which can lead to fresh ideas and creative solutions. The third, emotional support. When life gets tough, a supportive community can remind you that you're not alone and provide you with encouragement that you need to keep going. And number 4, to celebrate wins. When life gets tough, you need a community. But also, having a tribe that will celebrate your victories, big or small, can make your journey feel even more rewarding. So how do you go about building a support system? Find your tribe. Look for communities and individuals who align with your goals, your values, and your interests. Attending networking events, mastermind groups, hobby-based meetups, all of these get great ideas. By the way, this year, I am building a growth community. So if you want to focus on your ongoing personal growth, you're welcome to join our community. And I'm also going to put the link on how to join our free community on the show notes of today's podcast episode. Another way to find your tribe is to reconnect with old friends. Reach out to people that you've lost touch with who share similar interests and values to you. You can also engage online. Today, with all the social media platforms and online forums, they're great places to connect with people who can inspire you. So that's the first thing. You need to find your tribe. But it's not only about finding your tribe, you also need to nurture the relationships. Building a support system is not only about meeting people, it's about fostering meaningful connections over time. So a few things you can do to nurture your relationships. Schedule quality time, whether it's a monthly coffee date or a quick phone call. Prioritize regular check-ins with your circle. This is something that we're going to be consistently doing this year inside our growth community. Another thing is offering support. Relationships thrive when they're reciprocal. So be generous with your time, with your encouragement, with your expertise. Just like you are looking for that community to support you, also focus on you being that support for others in that community. And then the last thing that I have learned over the years is be vulnerable. Sharing your struggles and your wins fosters trust and deepens those connections. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about building your community is diversify your circle. Aim to include people with different roles in your support system. I once did a podcast on the 9 people you need in your career squad, and I'm going to go back to that to share a few of those roles that you might want to consider in your circle, like a cheerleader, those who encourage you and uplift you, a mentor, people with more experience and wisdom that can guide you, an accountability partner, someone who can help you stay on track with your goals, some peers, friends who have similar goals and challenges that can make it relatable partners on your journey. So diversify your circle. You want people who play different roles in your circle. And also remember that your support system includes both personal and professional connections. There's a few areas you can focus on. You can focus on family and close friends, how you can deepen the bonds with the people who have been there for you through your life, right? Your professional network. How can you invest time in maintaining and growing relationship with peers and mentors and industry peers? Also thinking about new connections, seeking opportunities to meet people who can inspire you and challenge you and with who you can collaborate in different ways. Now, I know that sometimes can be terrifying, especially if you, like me, are an introvert, to start building community and expanding your network. And I know that a lot of times we impose some barriers to ourselves that we need to overcome in order to thrive in this area, like the fear of rejection, right? How you do that. Reaching out sometimes can feel intimidating, but most people, what I've learned is they appreciate genuine connection. So start with small gestures, and I guarantee those are going to go long ways. The typical excuse, I don't have time constraints, right? Relationships do take time, but even small, consistent effort, like a quick text or voice note, can make a big impact. So don't underestimate the power of those small, consistent efforts. And then sometimes feeling like a burden. Sometimes we don't reach out to people because we don't want to be a burden to them. But remember that relationships are about give and take. So offering support is just as valuable as receiving it. And that can help you feel more balance in that relationship and feel less like you're a burden. So, wrapping this up, what is the call to action? What is my invitation to you? I want to invite you to take a moment to reflect on your relationships and try to identify just three, that you want to connect with more depth this year. Write down their names and decide on a specific ways that you're going to nurture those connections. Maybe you're going to schedule a coffee or lunch date with one of them, or you're going to send them a thoughtful message, or share a book or an article that reminded you of them, or you're going to invite them to collaborate on a project or an activity that aligns with both of your interests. Remember, a support system isn't just about what others can offer you. It's about creating a network where everyone feels valued, heard, and supported. And by intentionally building and nurturing relationships, you'll create a community that uplifts you, that propels you forward with your goals, and that brings you a sense of belonging, which is one of human needs that we all have, that sense of belonging. You don't have to do it all by yourself. Remember that. Together, we're stronger, more inspired, and better equipped to tackle whatever comes our way. So this year, I hope that you make the decision to be more intentional about building that support system. And that was tip number 6. We covered 3 tips today, and we'll finish the rest next week. But I hope today you took something out of our conversation, something that inspires you to take action. And I'm going to invite you this coming week to do just that. Pick one thing that you're going to do based on what you listened today to help you have a strong start of the year. And yes, we're mid-January, but it's still the beginning of the year. If you're now feeling like, oh, I didn't start strong, so I'll try again next year, don't. It's never too late. We're just in January. You have more than 11 months ahead of you to make a difference this year. So reflect on all the 6 tips that we've discussed so far. And what are some of the things that you want to be more intentional this year so you can live your best year yet? If this episode was helpful, do me a favor and share it with a friend. And if it was helpful, 2 things. Thank you for listening through the end. I know these are longer than usual. Remember the link on the show notes with all the references that I made today. And I hope to see you here next week to finish with the remaining of our tips for a strong start of 2025. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Okay, my friend, that's all I've got for you today. But before you go, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, if we're not already friends on Instagram, let's get connected. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful that you're in this journey with me. I want to leave you with one last thought. I want to remind you that you're destined for more, and that every step that you take brings you closer to becoming that best version of yourself. Embrace each day as a chance to learn, grow, and chase your dreams. The world needs you to shine brightly, so go out and show up fully and authentically. Take care, and I'll see you next time.